Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, man. One of my favorite things that we do, we sit down with different people in the industry and figure out how they get to where they're at, whether they're a tournament angler, a YouTuber, you know, like my boss at Nitro or my boss at Berkeley, you know, because you guys want to know like how to make a living in the industry and what it takes to get there. Today, I got Alex Rudd fishing with me. Man, just an awesome YouTuber. He's got a great channel from East Tennessee, lives outside of Knoxville, kind of. Everybody here knows Ott Defoe. You know, he lives out in that Ott Defoe area. And man, just welcome to Oklahoma.
Thank you.
I've had a lot of fun filming with you the last couple days.
Yeah, man.
And I want to ask you before we go put the boat on the trailer, just more about you for the viewers.
Absolutely.
You know, how did you get to this point? You know, you've got a really successful channel. You're also a school teacher, which I think is super cool.
Yeah.
He's also got the absolute best beard I have ever seen. I mean, it's just like, I can't get over it.
Yeah.
I'm just super jealous of the beard. Like, that is incredible. I don't know if my wife would stay married to me, but I would, if I could grow it out, I would see if she'd stay married to me if I had a beard like that.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, how old are you?
I am 28, just turned 28.
28.
Yes, sir.
You've had a YouTube channel for how many years?
Probably like 6-7 years now. Probably actually had it a little bit longer, but really taking it serious like the past 6 years.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you are a first grade teacher.
I was a first grade teacher. I taught first grade, second grade, and fifth grade, and now I teach what's called intervention.
That is one thing that I think is phenomenal, because I think so many times our public school system, first, our teachers do not get enough credit. They're the most important human beings on the face of the earth, along with a lot of our policemen and our firemen, but they're all super important. And I put teachers right there with them. And of course, all our servicemen are, you know, fighting for us. But just that having a male influence in those lower elementary, really the first male influence that a lot of kids get is once they get to 7th grade, and sometimes it might be that football coach or that basketball coach, or there's just not a lot of male influences on those young kids. So I think that's super cool. You're first, second grade teacher. I think that's awesome.
Appreciate
I think being a teacher is like one of the best jobs ever if you want to fish.
Absolutely.
Because you know, you have spring break off, you have fall break,
That's where
you have
I'm at
summer.
right now. It's fall break.
Yeah,
So
that's really, really cool. You know, getting to fish with you the last couple of days, you haven't always been a school teacher.
No.
You know, you tell us a little bit about your, how you got to being a school teacher, first of all.
Absolutely. So, you know, when I graduated high school, like a lot of high school kids, I had no idea what I wanted to do. You know, I knew that I wanted to do something, but what that something was, I wasn't sure. But I had a really cool opportunity to go work at a hospital, and that opportunity was to go be an EKG tech, and then they were going to train me to be an EMT as well. And so I went and worked that job, you know, and it was one of those deals that I got into that job, you know, being 18, 19, 20 years old, when you're making that kind of money, which wasn't much, but it was enough that when you're
big money for 18-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got money to go fishing, you got money to go hunting, you got money to go, you know, play around, you know. And so that was one of those things that I looked up 6 years into it, almost 7 years into it, and I thought, I hate this job. Like, I hate being here. I hate doing this. You know, and I had started building some clients to, you know, go mow yards and do landscaping. And then YouTube had started doing its thing. And, you know, so I was making a little bit of money from YouTube. I was making a lot more money from mowing. And I kind of looked at my mom and dad, and I was like, you know, I think I'm ready to go back to college. You know, and
what an awesome decision.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that.
No,
so
they don't. And it was
cool.
it was tough. I mean, you know, being an older person, quote unquote, especially for college. You know, most of the time you go in these college classrooms and you got kids that are dual enrolled in high school, and you got like 18-year-olds. You know, and I was 24 when I decided to go back to college. And so, you know, I went back to college. I'd always thought about being an elementary school teacher. You know, that was something that was always a passion that was there. I love to teach. I love to communicate with people, get to know people. And, you know, I thought being a teacher would be a great opportunity for me to be able to go do what I love, which is educate. And then, too, on the flip side of that, and honestly, I said this so many times, and so many people looked at me funny, I said, it is also the ultimate job for me to be able to go after my passion of fishing. And YouTube, you know, again, was growing, and I thought I might be able to do this one day as a full-time job. the YouTube thing. And so I thought, teacher's a job that I need, you know what I mean? And it's really cool, you know, I've talked to a lot of pro anglers that used to be teachers, you know what I mean? It's the job to have if you want time off to go fishing. And so I went back to college, you know, I went back to college, got my bachelor's degree. I graduated in 2019 and got my first job as a first grade teacher, and then went to second grade and went to fifth grade, and then here we are this year doing intervention. And you know,
Explain what intervention is.
So intervention is in the state of Tennessee and really all across the country, and if there's any teachers watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, the kids are broke up into tiers, and like tier 1 are the kids who are right on track, right where they need to be. Tier 2 is the kids who are just, you know, sort of off track and need a little bit of help getting caught up.
All due to COVID.
Mostly due to really it's across the board.
Just because they miss school.
Yeah, miss school. You know, some of them may have some learning disability stuff like that. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
cool.
it's always existed, but COVID has really made it worse. You know what I mean? So, and then tier 3, which is what I do, is I do tier 3 intervention, are kids who just really need a lot of help. The ones that are really behind and just need that extra help to get better and to you know, move up to tier 2 and then tier 1. And so that's what I do now. And I love it. It's a great job. It's super rewarding. I mean, I love kids. I mean, kids are, it's funny, I say this all the time. I love kids, can't stand adults. You know what I mean? Like, kids are just, they're sponges, man.
I know for me and where I'm at in my life, some of the most influential people that I had growing up was my teachers and my coaches. Coach Norwood, Coach Hart. You know, I'm leaving a ton of them out, but I still, like, to this day, I owe them a lot because, you know, they made me a better person. But that's cool. That's cool. So what, you know, on your YouTube, what do you specialize on your YouTube channel?
So really my YouTube channel, man, is I try to keep it as real as possible. I mean, you know, me and a buddy of mine, Mikey Balls, who also has a YouTube channel, and another buddy, Benjamin Nowak, has a YouTube channel. We kind of coined a phrase, hashtag real fishing. And we just wanted to keep it as real as we possibly could with everybody. You know, not talk above our heads, not talk about things we don't know, just go do what we love and share the passion of bass fishing with people, you know? And so we do a lot of just kind of on the water, you know, fishing, going and having a good time, and then I sit down and do some educational stuff as well. I mean, obviously being a teacher, you know, I say this all the time, I'm kind of the most qualified at teaching somebody. And so, like, I'll pick different topics that I have, you know, some experience with or a lot of experience with, things that I love to do, and I'll just kind of tell everybody what my experience with is, you know. And like I told you the other day, fishing is very anecdotal, meaning that everybody has a very different experience. You have a very different experience than me and vice versa. And so I think, you know, even though I may cover some of the same topics that other people are covering, I have that unique perspective of, well, this is what works for me. You know what I mean? And one of my catchphrases and things I say to my kids all the time and people all the time is never stop learning. And so all I want to do is I want to build a channel for people that can come and just see me being me and me being Alex Rudd and learn something with me. You know what I mean? Have a tool to, you know, go out and catch a fish. And it's so cool. I mean, it's one of the most rewarding things about doing YouTube for me is when someone messages me and says, you know, dude, I went and, you know, bought I went and bought a jaywalker and I went and fished it on a flat rock point and I caught a 4-pounder. You know what I mean, dude? It's just, it's cool. Epic. So
that's super cool, super cool. You know, getting to fish with you the last couple of days, you know, your dad's a big influence in your life. Am I wrong to say, is that really who introduced you to it and where you learned a lot?
Absolutely. My dad was he is the reason I'm fishing. You know, I told you, I think it was yesterday, we were kind of talking about it. I don't remember not fishing. Like, that's all I've ever done. You know, I mean, it's the one thing in my life that has been like the most consistent passion of mine is going fishing. And like, I can remember, you know, playing baseball and doing different things. And I'd be standing in the outfield thinking, they're probably eating topwater right now. That's where I want to be, is doing that. And so, you know, Dad really just, I mean, he taught me everything I know about fishing. He was the one that, you know, he fished a whole lot when I was a kid, you know, did the tournament deal and fished a whole bunch. And just anytime I could get in the boat with him, I'd be there. And I mean, I got to spend hundreds of hours as a kid on a boat fishing. And I'm super, super fortunate to be able to do that, because I think it's just kind of, it gave me a good base and a good foundation to build off of as an angler.
I always tell kids, the more time you're on the water, the more you learn. You don't have to have a wall full of trophies to prove that you're a good fisherman. It's all about time on the water. and fish in different conditions and doing it on your own. You
Yeah.
know, that's a big thing. So, you know, with that said, like, what are your home lakes? Like,
Yep.
what are a lot of lakes that you fish on your channel there around where you live? Like, give me 4 or 5 lakes that you fish a lot.
The ones I fish the most are probably going to be Chickamauga, Watts Bar, North.
There's some hammer lakes.
Yeah, I know,
Right
right? I
off
mean,
the
that's
bat.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's going to go ahead and knock their teeth
Yeah.
in with that one. Norris Lake, which is kind of it's a giant lake that not a lot of people know
Right.
about, but has a lot of good fish in it. Cherokee, Douglas, and
I've been
then
there.
of course Fort Loudon. You know, Fort
Yeah,
Loudon's just
yeah.
right down the road.
Cool.
And man, I just try to do. I love going and figuring it out. And we talked about that yesterday. And I mean, hey guys, we got awesome videos coming. If they've not already seen the videos, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Go check them out. Anyway, like I love just going and figuring them out. And so, you know, being a teacher, I got to work 40 hours a
Right.
week. And so most of the times it's just the weekend. And so like I'll literally get up on a Saturday morning and go, let's go try to figure Douglas out. And I'll show up, not been to Douglas in, you know, a couple weeks, and just go figure it out.
What's
you
your number one most favorite bait?
Number one most favorite bait is probably going to have to be, God, that's hard. I love them all. It's going to have to be probably a frog. Like
An East Tennessee guy saying frog. That just doesn't make sense to me.
man.
But I guess with the grass and Chickamauga, I can get that. But
So I actually figured out a different way to fish the frog. And it's not super different, but it's something that a lot of people don't utilize, and that is open water frog fishing.
Yeah.
I will go and
that's what we do here. At
Yeah,
Green.
yeah. I mean, I go put it places that you can't put your poppers and your jaywalkers and stuff like that, you know, and I mean, just silly bite that I get on with that. And, you know, it's followed closely by the square bill because both are river fishing baits.
Right.
And that's where I spend a ton of my time. You know, I say the lakes like Watts Bar or Douglas or whatever. Usually you can find me as far up in a river as you can possibly get, you know, bumping off rocks and everything else trying to catch a bass. So.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
man.
cool. Super cool. All right, you know, you've been doing this YouTube deal for a while now. Like, let's say we got a viewer out there that's 14 to 18 to 25 to 45 years
Yeah.
old, and they want to start a YouTube channel.
Yep.
What do you get? What would you suggest to those people?
I would suggest just go and do it. Like, go.
Should have started yesterday.
Just start. I mean,
Yeah.
just start. You know, I mean, you're never too late. Absolutely, you're never too late, but just start and make the content. I tell people all the time, this YouTube channel and making YouTube videos is kind of like playing in a band. You're going to suck for the first little while. I mean, it's just part of it. You know, you're going to play a gig. It's not going to go well, whatever. But the more you do it, the more you build the muscle, the more you upload, the more things start to go right, and you figure out what's wrong, and you figure out what's good and what's not. Just like fishing, man.
Yeah.
You just have to go out and start making YouTube videos. And don't worry about what anybody thinks. Don't worry about what your friends think, what your mom thinks, what your dad thinks. Just make the content. Put it out there, and I think the most important part that I can attach to that is be yourself. I'm Alex Rudd. I can't be anybody other than who I am. You know what I mean? And like if I try to be, I can promise you guys, you're going to know it because I look like a fumbling idiot. You know what I mean?
So my next question then, are you related to ZZ Top?
I might or might not be. I'm not
That
really
beard's
sure.
got to
Yeah.
be part of ZZ Top.
When old Dusty passed away, I felt a disturbance in the force. You know what I mean?
So when was the last time you shaved?
The last time I shaved was probably, I've not taken a razor to my face since I was probably 18 years old. So 10
years.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
That
man.
is crazy. Do you fertilize it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, a little beard fertilizer.
Yeah.
You know. You gotta take. I always tell people, you take care of your beard, you'll be able to take care of you. So you gotta take care of it. You know, it's a little crispy right now where we've been out on the lake, but we'll go home and wash it and oil it up and get it all. Oil. Yeah.
I heard your dad say that. What is oil? I didn't know you
like-
oil a beard.
It's a beard oil. It's it's like a argan oil based oil. It's got a bunch of different components to it, and because your beard hair is very different than your head hair. You know, your head hair, you produce a lot of oil on your head, whereas your face, you don't as much, and so you got to take care of your beard hair because it's completely different than your head hair. Yeah.
I'm learning stuff. It may not be about fishing, but I'm learning about how to have a cool beard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'd have that Apache beard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But all right, man. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you
Absolutely.
coming to Oklahoma. I've really thoroughly enjoyed the last few days with you.
I've
and,
enjoyed it with you too, man.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Absolutely, brother.
You guys leave me a comment if you got a question for Alex. Go check out his channel. He's got a phenomenal channel. He's got a podcast too, a
do,
really,
yeah.
really cool podcast that you need to check out.
Which he's going to be on very, very soon.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. But I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week.